Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do a fun little video where we draw this in my style, but I want to throw a twist on it. So basically taking like a Renaissance painting and putting it in my style. This was recommended by one of you guys, which I thought the idea was perfect. Because as someone who wants to improve on their art and do better with their art, and that's kind of the whole reason why we built this channel, I think kind of taking from any art period and replicating that work as just your own personal thing is a perfect way to see how the artists before us, or even artists now, like what do they do? What do they do differently? I've stared at the Mona Lisa 1,001 times, and I have to put it this way. Doing this and replicating this made me realize how much detail is in her. For one, I didn't know she was wearing a veil, and I thought that was really cool. Two, I always thought she was brunette, but if you can see here, and I'll put a picture up on the screen just to like hold it there, but she actually has more red in her hair, which leads me to believe, was she a redhead? Because that's kind of spicy. Okay, Miss Mona. So it's really fascinating, especially with the colors that are used in this. Now, the reason why I chose the Mona Lisa is something just iconic. I would love to do this challenge with a couple of other Renaissance paintings, such as the Reluctant Bride, which is one of my favorite. I also would really like to do the Swing, which I just really love the color palette in it, and it's gorgeous, as well as Lady Jane Grey, which I also think is a very powerful piece. Those are just a few to list off. But back to what I was trying to say. I do think replicating art is a good form. I know this is very frowned upon, and I kind of want to take like a moment to talk about like tracing and replicating and all of that. And I do agree it is very frowned upon. Like, I would never take the Mona Lisa and try to convince people that I drew the Mona Lisa, you know? But what I am trying to say is that it is okay to take art and analyze it and gain a skill from that and try to hone in on your own art skills on it. I remember when I first started drawing, that is all I ever would do. Now, this wasn't art that I would post and say is mine, but I did quite often as a middle schooler trace, you know. Like, listen, it was like the 2010s, 2009 or something. There wasn't a lot of art tutorials. I think we had Mark Crilly, which was great, and he was a great guy, but nothing that was like really pertinent to me. So you just kind of had to do your best and hope for the best. I remember getting into art school, and this is actually like something that they taught us was, I remember spending like all day in class, and they're like, go and pick a famous artist painting and go and try to replicate it from your own, and then come back and tell me what you learned. And that was, listen, I dropped out of art school. This was the only thing that stuck with me. That and like one other thing. And it was a good lesson, because it's like, wow, I didn't realize how much color would go into this. Like, as you see me painting her top here, I used a yellow base, and that's because there's a lot of yellows and greens in this painting. And the reason why I used a yellow base is because, one, it's just easier. It's easier to go back and use those yellow, like put darker shades onto that yellow highlight. And a lot of people tend to do that. They'll put a lighter shade and then color darker on top of it. If you're one of those freaky people that do the opposite, I envy you. That's it. But that is the main reason. Like, you can kind of see some golds. Now, I did, like, this is meant to be in my style, so I did some very saturated looks as compared to the other one. Though, I mean, the original Mona Lisa is probably very diluted now, even though they've probably taken measures to restore her. She probably is a little dingy looking, you know? It was probably a lot brighter. So I just kind of honed in on that, and I was like, oh, it's obviously daytime. It's obvious, like, she obviously has some gold on her, like some of her cloth on her forearms is gold coloring or yellow coloring. or like I was mentioning, the red in her hair, like she quite obviously has red in her hair. And just honing in on those and kind of adjusting it to my own. I honestly really had a fun time with this, and I think this did teach me a lot of things. Just most of all, like trying to use different colors, because I did notice, like, in her skin tone there's purples, in the green that she has around her there's also some purples. There's actually quite a bit of purple in here. There's quite a bit of blues. There's I think there's at least like one of every color, which is very useful, because this goes to how using different hues in your shading can really benefit on that and really add different dimension and make, you know, the full picture pop. So it was kind of cool to learn that. Talking a little bit about this, some of my favorite things that I did was actually the clothes. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing with the clothes, and I'm still, like, they don't look bad. They don't look terrible, but I do like this, like, drape piece I did. I thought I did very good on shading that, as well as this, like, rouged bust part in the front. I kind of liked it. I really didn't know what I was doing with shading. I've been back and forth with like a ton of art programs right now. And right now I'm using Fire Alpaca in this video. And mostly because I really love the brush settings that it allows me to use. And I like the oil. I use the oil brush in this because I thought it was pretty smart. You know, it's an oil painting. It would be smart to use an oil brush. I don't know. And so it actually worked out really well. I think it did really well. But I also was just kind of like, what the hell am I doing? I don't know. I'm just going to keep coloring and zoom out and zoom in and see what needs to be adjusted, which I think is what like shading is all about. Obviously she's front lit, so she's darker on the back. So I did try to like use the darker shadows to my favor. That way I was like covering up some stuff. But I did really like it. At the end result, I really did like it. I'm glad I think I spent the most time on the clothes and then very little time on like shading her skin. Though I do have to admit, once we get a little more into it, I was drawing these like little like eye bags because she kind of has like, I don't want to say like puffy eyes, but like she has more prominent like under eye bags, which is a little interesting, but also I'm really bad at accentuating stuff like that because I feel like I always make them look like they're in the dark ages and they are experiencing the plague for the very first time. It's kind of rough, but I don't think it looks too terrible. I think this was probably the best I did, and I don't mind it. As for the shading on the skin, like I said, I kept it very minimal. I kept it very simple. She has pretty simple shading other than some like exaggerated darker tones around the skin. She's mostly like lit around her forehead and on the chest. I totally just hit my mic right now. I'm sorry. I'm not fixing that. But this was really fun. I actually did have a really good time. I did definitely, I know this was like to be in my style, but I definitely leaned into the more like Renaissance-y look, and I kind of had fun with that. I realized that, you know, less is more and more is less, you know. And I know that's a weird way for me to put it, but I realize looking at it now, I'm just like, oh yeah, like some of the darker shadows I did really made other things pop, and they weren't as prominent as you think they are. That's the thing. Like they're very just like in there, very subtle, except for around her hair and a little bit in her clothes. So it's kind of cool to see, like, you know, sometimes if you just like add some dark tones every now and then, it actually can kind of really make some stuff pop. So I'm excited to use that in my more recent artworks and see what that does for me. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed this. This was quite fun. definitely might want to do this again, but I already have, look at me guys, I'm being proactive. I already have next week's video halfway done because it's kind of a big video, but it's a fun video. So it was a lot to do and my hand hurts. This was just more like a fun activity for me to do so that my brain can reset. I know that sounds weird because you think it would do more looking at this, but it was really just like, okay, I'm just gonna redraw this and do the best I freaking can. And I did, and I really liked it. What do you guys think? Do you like this? Do you hate this? Do you want to see more of it? I don't know. Other topic, when I was drawing the Mona Lisa and all of that, I noticed she looked like someone. And you guys can call me out and tell me that I'm just tripping, but doesn't she kind of look like Chaperone? Just a little bit. Just like in the nose and mouth area. They obviously have very different eyes, but I was looking at it and I was like, hey, yo, she kind of looks like Chaperone a little bit. So you tell me, am I tripping or am I onto something? I'm going to post a picture up on Chaperone right here, but I think they look a little similar. So do with that what you will. I don't know, just a weird thought that I had while drawing it. I was like, oh, that's cool. This is kind of helping me get better with like facial recognition on things because I'm very bad at drawing people like semi-realistically, and that is something that I want to do better on. So that's another video I'm also working on. I've got like 4 videos in the back burner. I've been sick for the last 3 days and I've been at home, unfortunately, and I've just been like, I gotta do something, I have to. So I have like 3, maybe 4 videos on the back burner, so pretty excited to edit those. Hopefully I can get them done sooner than later. On another note, I wanted to know your guys' opinion on another thing. So I know I usually start my intros with a, hey guys, today we're gonna start a new video. I wanted to know, would you guys want to be called like honeybees or something? I know my name is Honeyfire, which that's how you say it, by the way. If you want to know how to say the fire in it, that is how you say it, like fire, but fire. Yeah, do you guys want to be my little honeybees or something? That'd be really great. I don't know if that's something that you guys are interested in. Please leave a comment. Please leave a bumblebee down below in the comments to let me know that that's what you would be called. You would like to be called. Yes. On another note, I am proud to say that this past week we have officially launched my comic. I have a comic called Milk and Honey, and it is currently up on Webtoons. There's the first episode. I'm going to start regularly posting it on Mondays. I have already the first couple chapters like in the works, but right now chapter 1 is up. So please, if you guys are watching this and you really want to read something, it would be an honor if you could go read that. It's just supposed to be like a comedy slice of life. It's not meant to be taken overly serious. This is something that I've been very, very slowly working on for the past couple of years. And to be fair, a lot of the delay on it is just due to like high anxiety and not feeling confident enough in my skills. But I have chosen to take the route and throw all of those fears away because I realize it's never going to happen if I just sit on my ass. So I am very proud to say that we launched it and I'm very excited. I'm going to post a link in the description, so if you guys want to check that out, that would be super kind of you guys. This video is almost over, so I'm just going to tap out now and not ramble your ears off anymore because I'm really good at that. I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know if you want another video like this or something similar, and I'd love to do more. I'm such like an art history nerd, so I love talking about Renaissance paintings. I wish I would have talked more about the history of the Mona Lisa, but I think most people know about it, so maybe one day I will. with that being said, I hope you guys like and subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Everybody have a great rest of your week and have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys again. Bye, guys.